was very good, and we landed in Cincinnati at the time we was ordered.
Now, see, I'm from Cincinnati. How was your trip all the way back here to Jasper?
The trip was for me very, very interesting because I am for the first time in the States, in the United States, and the landscape impressed me very much.
And how's it feel to be here in Jasper in time for Strassenfest with all the activities that's going to be going on here?
I'm looking forward to all the activities because, it is an impression or an expression from the partnership from the sister city Pfaffenweiler to Jasper, and I'm for the first time here, and I see Schmitt for the first time, and I think we have a lot of things to tell and to say and to prepare the next year.
First of all, it gives us a lot of authenticity for our German heritage celebrations at Strassenfest. And we're always happy to have guests from Germany, and it's especially a great event this year, having Burgermeister Dieter Hahn here for the first time, being the new Burgermeister and getting ready to celebrate our 25th anniversary next year in 2010. We both felt it was important to have personal contact with one another and meet each other. But aside from the celebration of our German heritage, it gives us an opportunity to sit down while Burgermeister Hahn is here and talk about what's going on in our communities and how we are alike, and maybe share some secrets of success that are going on in our communities that we can each apply to our own communities. So besides being a celebration of our German heritage, it gives us an opportunity to talk about our communities and see how many things we do have in common.
Pfaffenweiler is in the very southwest of Germany, outside the city of Freiburg. It has 2,700 inhabitants. It's an old place because the area has been settled about 2,000 or even 3,000 years ago. Pfaffenweiler is a wine community, and in older times it was very famous because of the stone quarries. There's a very special stone quality found there, and in the middle of the 19th century many people had to emigrate from our area in Germany because there was a real a harvest crisis. The weather changed. There had been years with rain all over the year. It was an economical crisis, and so people decided to emigrate to America, how they call it, to the United States. And this is the relationship to Jasper started, because the first immigrants had money, like the Eckert family. The Eckerts, to whom belonged the mill, the now restored mill, they have been the blacksmith in the village. But they couldn't find any more work, so they couldn't investigate their money they had, so they sold everything. And a member of the family made the trip to the States, and he visited Jasper, and he came back almost a year later to his family and told them it's better for us to go to Jasper, to emigrate to Jasper. And that's what they did. And finally they reorganized, made a very good business with that mill, which is now restored. And very similar stories also happened to other people. But one big reason was that Pfarrer Kundek organized the Catholic community, and he wanted Catholic settlers for the new community of Jasper. And so he even visited Pfaffenweiler, and he held a speech there to the people of Pfaffenweiler, told them about their former community members who already had emigrated, and he promised them to give them help if they also want to come to Jasper. And this is why so many Pfaffenweiler people came to Jasper. And this is the reason why we have that fantastic contact, the fantastic partnership, which is, of course, which came out of history, of course. And I'm glad about it, as a historian, of course.
How do you feel to be here today in Jasper?
I told, when we arrived in the bus, I told some friends, it's almost like coming home. I think there's no need to say anything else. And I'm really astonished, and I'm so glad to know so many people. Meanwhile, it's my 5th or 6th time I'm in Jasper. Meanwhile, so I think I'm almost familiar with Jasper, and I really like it. I like to be here. I like to meet the friends again, and I'm with friends because my host family is my Jasper family. That's how it is.
My dear honored Major Bill Schmitt, dear friends from Jasper and Dubois County, our group, my family and I are very proud and deeply moved to participate at the opening ceremony of the 2009 Strassenfest and to be your guests. I'm very pleased and honored today to bring you all the best wishes from the citizens of Pfaffenweiler. I can say to you that Jasper and its people are deep in our hearts. I'm excited to be in the United States for the first time in my life, but especially that it is with you here in Jasper. As a small boy, I was together with your American countrymen daily in my hometown, Spangdahlem, where the American Air Force had stationed the 52nd Tactical Fighter Group. I enjoyed growing up with the American mentality. I enjoyed to listen to the national hymn that was daily played at 5 o'clock p.m. I never would have thought that one day as a Bürgermeister I would be responsible for a partnership with an American city. But the common history of our two communities, the lively partnership and the countless visits of the people lets me carry this responsibility with ease. A responsibility I'm looking forward to face in the future, and I'm very much looking forward to your counter visit in the coming year, when we will celebrate our 25th anniversary in Pfaffenweiler. For this event, I officially want to invite you again from the bottom of my heart. 3 years ago, I stepped into the office as a mayor of Pfaffenweiler and had no clear imagination about our partnership. But in many conversations with my predecessor, Fritz Guxel, and the citizens of Pfaffenweiler who had visited Jasper, I came to understand how deeply this partnership is rooted in all our hearts. I'm looking forward to every visitor from Jasper, and when time allows, I enjoy long conversations about our common anxiousness, the outstanding functioning student exchange program, and about the details which will move us forward in the development of our partnership. It is fitting that with our visit this year, Matthias Hilger is being honored as Grand Marshal of the Strassenfest. I want to thank him for all his support, organization, and his untiring activity in this partnership. Dear Matthias, you have become a great help to me in my desire to maintain the connection between Jasper and Pfaffenweiler and to build upon it. And I know there are many people who help you, and the only I can say, Dankeschön to all and for everything. My dear Mayor Bill Schmitt, on my first day as Bürgermeister of Pfaffenweiler on November the 21st, 2006, the telephone rang and you were at the other end. I was so impressed by this call and immediately felt that we will become very good partners. I also was excited to hear your commitment 3 years ago that you will be visiting Pfaffenweiler in 2010 and to celebrate the 25th anniversary with us in Germany. America and Germany, Jasper and Pfaffenweiler are very different. But even different countries, different communities and different people can be good friends. That is what I feel, and that is what I want to assure that you feel the same as well. Pfaffenweiler has the Schneckefest, they call it Snail Festival, to which thousands of visitors are drawn to, and Jasper celebrates the Strassenfest, also a great and famous festival with many visitors. And a festival on the street means to celebrate in public and to show to all how important it is to remember the communalities of our ancestors and to bring these to the streets. This is why I'm looking forward, along with you and my fellow travelers, to celebrate the 2009 Strassenfest and wish us all happy and unburdened festival days in deep friendship. Thank you very much. My dear Mayor Ben Schmitt, we have a little present from Germany, and I want to give it on this day, and I want that you wrap it out.
Here we have Mayor Schmitt and Carol and Mayor Dieter Hahn from Germany.
And then coming up right here, the Jasper German Club float. Some of the visitors from Pfaffenweiler, Germany, and they got some music on that float.
Yes. The Germans are Angela and Julian Hahn, Michael Eckert, Marcus Bosch, Emily Schmidt, Ingeborg Kier, Heinrich and Gisela Hupe, Franz and Gebhard, Angelika Schenkel, and Eddie Wieger and Bernd and Ingeborg Gaylor. Next we have Strassenfest Grand Marshal Matthias Hilger. Riding along with Matthias is his wife Kathy Hilger and driver Amanda Hilger.
And then the Strassenfest host and hostess Al and Judy Bennett driving by right now.
Mm-hmm. Driving in a nice convertible there. And then coming up next, Chris, we have Miss Strassenfest and the pageant contestants. This float is sponsored by the German-American Bank. Bank proud to showcase this year's Strassenfest Queen's Pageant Court. Who are some of them?
Well, of course, the Queen, Sarah Tin. We had the privilege of talking to her not that long ago for both the Strassenfest Live that we put on and myself in the talent spiel yesterday. The first runner-up was Natasha Nelson. Second runner-up, Jade Ruckriegel. Miss Photogenic, Daniel Kunkel. Of course, Sarah Tim is also Miss Congeniality. So congratulations to all these lovely young ladies. And there you see the little mister there in the back along with all the other contestants. Little Miss was Sydney Pinkstaff and little mister was Caleb Berger.
Okay, then we have the Strassenfest committee in four-wheelers here. Golf carts. And Bridget Jarborough, the chairperson. And right now as they're driving through, I think we just can't necessarily have time to mention all of them, but we want to thank the Strassenfest committee for a great festival that we've had in 2009. Now here's another car.
Now this is of course the Casey Kane Budweiser car, and Gary was telling me Friday that this was actually the same car driven by Dale Earnhardt Jr. the last couple of seasons.
Oh, great.
So the Casey Kane NASCAR driving by there. Certainly exciting things there. And now, been a kind of a lot of build-up. You've been hearing a lot about it. Coming up next, the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales from Hettinger Beverage here. Of course, Hettinger Beverage celebrating their 50th anniversary. And they had to pull out a lot of stops here, but they are able to bring in the Clydesdales, and here they come.
And truthfully, we want to thank Hettingers for doing that. Thank you. I want to thank him for bringing the Clydesdale in here. Wherever they appeared, there were crowds of people.
We get to see Mike Conway, an RL driver, along with the Clydesdales, and those are beautiful horses, aren't they?
Oh, they are. It's fantastic to see these horses.
And of course, the famous Dalmatian riding on top there.
A sight to see. Welcome to WJTS. At this time, we have a program called Meet Pfaffenweiler. And with us are our guests, Burgermeister Dieter Hahn.
Hello.
And Mayor Bill Schmitt.
Paul, great to be here.
Welcome to the program. Burgermeister, tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh, yes. Well, my name is Hahn, and I am 44 years old, and since 2.5 years, since good 2.5 years, I'm the new mayor of Pfaffenweiler, the sister city from Jasper. I have a family. My wife and my son Julian is here with me in Jasper. We enjoyed our stay here very much. And for me, about me, it is to say, I have studied administration, yeah, and I was candidate for mayor in Pfaffenweiler 2006.
And then you were elected at that time.
Yes, it was.
And I understand, you speak fairly good English. How did that come about?
Oh, the reason is, as a young boy, my hometown is near an airbase from the Air Force, and it is Spangdahlem, and I grew up with the American countryman, with the American mentality. We often had contact to the American people, and it was always a dream for me to come to America.
And you finally made it?
Yes, it
finally got here. Were you always in the government or politics prior to being elected Burgermeister?
I was no politics man, but I was in the government, in the administration. Yeah, I knew what administration is, and so I was a candidate from 6 candidates in Pfaffenweiler 3 years ago, when the election was.
And you have like a primary election and a general election, or were you just the majority vote getter and were elected?
You have to. There are 2 elections. Yeah, in the first election, if you got in the first election more than 50%, you are the mayor. Yeah, if none of the candidates got 50% in the first election, 2 weeks later there's the second election. Yeah, and then the majority of the votes are enough. Yeah. For me, it was in the first election I had 81% from the votes.
So that was a sigh of relief.
Yes.
Paul, with 81%, it sounds to me like a mandate. They wanted Dieter to be their mayor.
Yes. That certainly was a mandate.
Yes, it was.
And would they still give you 81% of the vote today, you think? Oh, I hope it very, yeah. There was a few weeks ago was an election for a council, for a county council. Yeah, we call it Kreistag. It's the German word Kreistag for a county council, and therefore I had also make the candidated, and I had a similar vote as 2006. Yeah. Well, that speaks well of Burgermeister Dieter Hahn, I think.
So Dieter, then you are holding 2 separate offices?
No, it is no separate offices. It is another administration level.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
there's another we are a small community, and there's another region,
Okay.
like a county. I think greater than a county, and there is again a council member, and therefore I'm a part.
Okay.
Yes.
That's kind of interesting. I don't know, Mayor, would we call that holding down two government jobs?
Well, it sounds to me like it would be, because he is the mayor of Pfaffenweiler, then he would be on a commission, maybe a state commission. For example, I am on the Indiana Law Enforcement Training Board, and I sat on there as a member of that. The difference maybe is that mine is appointed, where his is a mandate or appointment by the public to represent the Pfaffenweiler area.
That's interesting. What is the makeup of your government?
Yes, the makeup of my government is me as a mayor, and then I have a council, yeah, and the council members, there are 12, I have 12 council members. And the council and the mayor has together put the important decisions for the community.
Can you make any decisions?
I can make decisions, yeah. The council gave me a rule, yeah, and inside this rule I can make own decisions, yeah. And if there is a small decision in the administration, I can also give it, yeah. But if a decision is depends on the money and the budget, yeah, I need a decision from the council.
It's a little different.
It's a little different, and their population or their inhabitants is 2,500, and they have 12 council members. We are like 14,000, and we have 7 council members. Our council members, again, are for budgetary, fiduciary, and also the legislative body, and pass the laws. And then we have a Board of Public Works, which is made up, in this case, of myself and 2 other council members who will do the everyday work for the city of Jasper and making signing contracts and entering into agreements. The other thing that is different is in the United States, or in Jasper, the mayor is allowed to appoint certain people to head up the departments, such as the police chief, the fire chief, street commissioner, etc., where I think in Pfaffenweiler that is all handled by the mayor and or the council. So when you look at the other, you got 12 council members versus Jasper, who's much bigger, has 7, but they are not afforded the support staff like we have here in the United States, such as the department heads, you know, the city attorney and the police chief, fire chief, street commissioner, park board director, and the utility departments. So, you know, they have more council members which are elected. We have appointed people to serve in those committees. I guess the other thing, talking to Dieter, is that they have a fire department like we have, and it's a volunteer fire department. They're responsible to provide for that fire department. But in the as far as law enforcement, they're part of a region where it's more like the sheriff's department that would cover the whole area, or either something like the state police. They do not have to have their own individual police department.
Now, when it comes to the 7-member or the 12-member governing body, they're all elected at large. Of course, it's a smaller town, but are they all elected at large, or are they divided in quadrants in the city?
They are elected, yeah. And
at large?
At large, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And the last election was now in June. Yeah.
Is that normally when do they take office then?
They are elected for 5 years. Yeah, the term is 5 years, and yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Dieter, at the last election for council, where you have 12, how many people were running for the office?
For the election term?
For council.
For council, round about 36.
Oh, wow.
36, yeah.
And then it's the top 12?
Yeah, no, it's not the top 12. There are 3 lists. Yeah, there are 3 lists.
Okay.
Yeah, and with different aims, with different aims, with different goals, and the lists can be elected, and the people itself can be elected. Yeah, it's a combination, and there are 36 persons who had candidated.
Now, do they have political parties over there?
We have political parties there, but they don't play a great role in our small community. Yeah, but for me, the CDU is one list, was the CDU. Yeah.
Then, go ahead, Mary.
Do you have any ladies or females on the council?
Yes, we have. We have 2 female.
Good.
Yeah, 2 women.
And they run the show. No comment.
No comment.
No. I have to concentrate on my work.
That's good. Who are the major employers in?
The major employer is in Pfaffenweiler is the winery. Yeah, around about a third from our whole community are vineyards. Yeah. And the winery makes the wine. Yeah, the Winzer they grow it up, and it is a great employer in our region. And without that, we only have more crafts, who work for themselves, or who work with 1 or 2 clerks or workers.
When you talk about the vineyards, does one large conglomerate company own the land of the vineyards, or is it small plots of land?
Oh, we have only small place, yeah, to continue or to develop our community, and the most are the vineyards, yeah, and the wine is tradition. Yeah, in Pfaffenweiler there are 2 traditions. It is the stone and it is the wine. Yeah, and we have to keep the wine and we have to conserve the wine as a tradition and also as an income for a lot of people who do it as a hobby. Yeah, there are 3 professional in our wine growers, but there are 165 hobby wine growers, and that is an important thing for our community.
Do they all sell to the co-op then?
Yes, they all sell to the.
So they kind of lock in all of the wine, the wine growers, to do business with the winery.
Well, I think over there it's hectares.
Hectares, yeah.
How many hectares does a person own?
Oh, it differs. Yeah, Markus Bösch, who is with us, in the group here in Jasper, he has 8 hectares. 8 hectares, and the 3 professional have around 6 to 10 hectares. The whole place, the whole area, is 110 hectares vineyards.
And there's how many different owners?
Yeah, I said it. 165
owners in
owners. Yeah, 168. 165 as a hobby and 3 professionals.
You know, that's interesting. You know, the amount of acreage that they do own. It's not very much.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just a lot of people. And how do you keep the young people in town?
Yeah, also we want to keep the young people in town, that we give them a good quality of life, and that means for us we keep their children in the kindergarten or in the Kinderkrippe, we call it. That is, they are from 9 weeks on. If a child is 9 weeks old, it can go to the Kinderkrippe, and up to 3 years, and from 3 years on it comes in the normally kindergarten. Kindergarten here is something others, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then we have the grade school in town, in our city, in our village, and these are important things for us, to keep the young families in Pfaffenweiler.
And the school, the grade school and the kindergarten, I think comes under the Burgermeister's control?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's a local control.
Yeah.
So it does fall to a quality of life, and a lot of people will maybe work in Freiburg, but they want to live in Pfaffenweiler because of their lower grade school system, their grade school.
And Freiburg is the largest city outside of, or nearest to Pfaffenweiler?
Yeah, Freiburg has around about 200,000 inhabitants, and it is in a distance from around about 6 miles and you drive with a car 10 minutes, and you are in the city.
And what is their major industry? What do they do?
Major industry? Freiburg is well known for its solar facilities and firms. There is a well-known mess bin in Freiburg, which is now, I think it is in America, but I don't know exactly the location. That is well known, and also there is in the biomedicine, Freiburg is well known as a city of university. Freiburg has a great university.
It's a university town, could even compare maybe to Bloomington, Indiana, because of the strong university there.
Mm-hmm. Then, a couple of years ago, the European Union came through. Money changed, and the current financial collapse. How did that affect your region?
It was. We have. I explained. We have a small place. We cannot develop. But our crafts. They have at the moment a very good job. Because they have much work in doing saving energy, insulation for the houses and for the buildings. And so the financial collapse, we came not just to our economy in Pfaffenweiler, but it came to the region, that's clear. And it came also to Germany and came to Baden-Württemberg. And we feel it because the money from the distributed money from the country Baden-Württemberg and from the country Germany, it is less. And it will be in the next 2 years, there will be 150,000 euros less than 2008 or 2007.
How far ahead do you know how much money you're getting from the government? A year ahead or 2 years?
Oh, 2 years. 2 years. We know it roundabout. We know it 2 years ago.
So you know what you're going to have. Always 2 years ahead.
Yeah, we know what 2011 happens.
Now, earlier in the radio program, you spoke about the number of births in town.
Yes.
That is a concern.
Yeah, that is really, it's really awfully. We have only 5 births now in the year 2009. And for every good idea we have with kindergarten, kinderkrippe and grade school, it gets a question if you can keep it if only 5 children are born in 1 year. We need 15 up to 20 births every year.
And that's kind of what it's been over the years, is the same amount?
Yes, the amount, former years were 15 up to 20 children.
This is your first trip to the United States. And you had to have feelings and thoughts when you landed at Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I said it was the fulfilling of a dream to come to America, and at the airport, Bill Schmitt and Matthias Hilger waited for our group. That was very nice for me. It was very kind from Bill, and from that on, I had a lot of impressions of the landscape, of the highways, of the cars. My son, for example, he loves cars, and he was very excited. That was, astonishing for him. Everyone here in Indiana has a pickup. It's really amazing for us, because in Pfaffenweiler and in Germany there are more small cars, and this gave one impression to another. And now I have a good imagination, a good and clear imagination of America here in Indiana and of Jasper.
I need to backtrack a little bit. When you were elected mayor a little over 2 years ago, one of the first phone calls you got was from the mayor of Jasper, Indiana.
Yes, it was. Bill Schmitt called me on the 21st of November 2006 when I started my job. And it was a great pleasure and a great honor for me that he called me. And felt on the first day when I was in the office that the partnership with Jasper is something unique and something special, especially for Pfaffenweiler and for all our people. I often heard it in my election campaign. I often heard it, and I was very glad that you called me, and I was very glad that you said in 2010 you come to Pfaffenweiler.
Probably his first day in the office, and he's thinking, who's this guy calling me, bugging me? I'm trying to find my way to the bathroom, and then somebody else is calling me on the first day in the office. But we thought it was important. We wanted to make a connection with Burgermeister Hahn, and because we had such a great relationship with the former Burgermeister, Fritz Guxel, and his many years in office, and I know all the work that Fritz did to preserve the partnership and to make it grow, and we wanted to continue that, and I think we've struck up a good partnership. We've got, as far as I am concerned, long-lasting friends now with Dieter Hahn.
That is very good, and also, there's a big time difference between here and,
yes, we know.
and your town. And you said he called you early in the morning, or right when you got into the office.
No. I remember you called me local time Pfaffenweiler around about 4 o'clock p.m.
Oh, 4 o'clock p.m.
Yeah,
oh,
4 o'clock p.m. Yeah,
so it was way late then when you called him.
Seems to me it was maybe more in the morning.
It was in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We wanted to try and give a good impression to the mayor when he came to United States to Jasper along with the rest of the guests, and we planned to have the fire truck and the police car sitting by the county garage and did the lights and siren on an escort in, and then we had the arrangements that their host families would pick them up and meet them at the train depot because there was adequate parking there and a good place for the bus to park. We had members of the St. Joseph Choir sang a couple of numbers welcoming them to the community, and we had a toast, and I thought we didn't really want to keep them up because they had probably a 14, 15-hour flight, and then the drive from Cincinnati in, that they would be tired and ready to go home. But once they started seeing old friends, it revived everybody, and they stood around and talked quite a while before they decided it was time to go home. So everybody was great that came out there. We appreciate the choir coming out and all the people that work from the Partnership Commission to give them a good welcome and a good impression. So. We hope that they were impressed.
Well, we had earlier on the news this week, we had an interview with Eddie Weger, and he really did a great job in talking about him being a philanthropist and a historian or something, and he said when he saw the mill and everything, he just felt like he was at home.
Right.
So maybe that describes it a little bit.
We had a very nice open house at the mill this Saturday. The hours were from 9 to 4, and then at 10 o'clock we had a prearranged time when we had asked if they could make it, all of the visitors from Pfaffenweiler to kind of be down there, and we had a couple of not speeches but little comments that were made. And we felt it was really important that we do this during this Strassenfest, and we had visitors from Pfaffenweiler because of the origin of Jasper was right at that location on the river. The mill is what brought Jasper. The early settlers decided to build the mill there, and then when the Eckert family purchased the mill, there were direct descendants from Pfaffenweiler. And it's so important to our history, and it's so important to the immigration of the early German settlers that settled in here, that it's only fitting that this is a great local project of building that mill. To our surprise, Dieter brought it, and his delegation brought a unique gift. It was a label from early Andrew Eckert mill label that he had on his flour barrels, and so they brought it over framed, and we're going to display it in the mill. So it was a kind of a unique gift, and we really appreciate it.
That's a lot of thought.
Yeah, it's not clear how it came to Pfaffenweiler. Yeah, Eddie Wieger didn't know that also. But the predecessor from Eddie Wieger, he called Gerhard Auer, he was here in 1984, I think, or 1985. 1995 he was here, and maybe he brought it with to the museum in Pfaffenweiler, or to the things who are collected.
Mm-hmm.
And one day Eddie came downstairs, he has his bureau under the roof, he came downstairs to me in my office and showed me that label.
Yeah.
And I said, Eddie, we must take it with to Jasper.
Yeah.
Well, that was really
very thoughtful.
That was very thoughtful, and the interesting thing is they came from Pfaffenweiler and started a mill, but I understand they were stonemasons in Pfaffenweiler.
Not all, but not all. Yeah, there were many stone carvers, but not all. The most people at that time lived for, or they took care for themselves as an agriculture. Yeah,
agriculture.
Agriculture. Mm-hmm. They had some land, maybe they had some wine, they had one cow or one pig or however, and in the stone squares, they were not all stone carvers. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And I think also the carpenters or anything else came then, 1847.
You know, what do you hope to take back to your city from this visit?
I'm lucky to take home back a lot of good remembers of good things that I have lived here. I have contacts to a very kind mayor here in Jasper, and I know, or I feel that the people here in Jasper like the partnership to Pfaffenweiler, and I also think it is a lively partnership. You know, and this morning we talked about things how to maintain this. Yeah, I think also there are some ideas that we have to discuss, you know, between us or with other people to develop this partnership into the next 10 or 20 years.
Mayor, do you have anything that you want to add?
Well, I certainly agree. It's a unique partnership. This partnership in Sister City that we will be commemorating next year in 2010, our 25th anniversary, is a special because it is tied with blood relatives, and not necessarily commerce. You know, the question was brought up to us is, would we consider any other sister cities or partnerships? And we would, but I don't think we'll ever find one as unique as this, because we're talking of relatives and relatives in both places. So I think that as far as partnerships and sister city connections, we are the envy of a lot of the sister city partnerships because of the closeness, and it's not just based on economic incentives. But you know, if we would have an industry come in from Japan or China or some other foreign country, I'm sure that we would work very diligently to maybe to form a partnership and a sister city. But until that time comes, we are going to enjoy the sister city and the partnership that we have with Pfaffenweiler.
This certainly would be most enjoyed because of the relationship.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
And then next year is the 25th anniversary. You want to talk a little bit about 2010?
Yes, we want to celebrate that in Pfaffenweiler, and we have made an official invitation to Jasper, and we hope to see a lot of Jasper people in June, and it is the 20th June when there is the Stone Break Festival, the Steibigfest, and around that date we want to make the anniversary welcomes and parties.
You have any closing comments, Mayor?
No, it's just that we're so glad to have the 19 visitors from Pfaffenweiler for our Strassenfest in 2009. It was a great Strassenfest. Besides the German visitors that we had from Pfaffenweiler, the Clydesdales were here. It was a big parade. And so everything, the weather was cooler. We had a little bit of rain, but this is probably one of the most successful Strassenfests that we've had. And each year they seem to get bigger and better. But it always is that extra touch when we can really tie in our German heritage by having visitors from Germany be here during the Strassenfest.
Bürgermeister Dieter Hahn.
Yeah, I only can agree to this comment. And for me and for my fellows in the group, we come here. It was a very grateful, wonderful event. Yeah, the open ceremony, yeah, and the festival about the 3 days. It was wonderful, and I only can say Dankeschön, thank you for all, what you give to us and for your guests, and we are looking forward to meet you next year in Germany.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and appreciate having you on Meet Pfaffenweiler, Mayor or Bürgermeister Dieter Hahn, and Mayor Bill Schmitt of Jasper. Thank you.
Paul, it's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
A farewell dinner for Pfaffenweiler Mayor Dieter Hahn and his friends and family from Germany was held last night at the Du Bois County Museum. A couple hundred people gathered to relive the excitement of the past week and thank those who put in a lot of hard work to make all the festivities happen. Gifts were also handed out at the catered event that provided many smiles and jokes for all who attended.
Well, it's always wonderful when our guests come over from Pfaffenweiler. They've been over here a number of times, and every time it never gets any easy to say goodbye. It's been a great week.
Now, you've also been to Pfaffenweiler, and you've had some good times over there.
Yes, I think we've been there about 4 times. The first time back in 1985, I believe it was. And we've had a host family that we've stayed with, and they in turn have stayed with us, and we've gotten real close. At least we communicate over the Christmas holidays, and we've exchanged gifts over the years. It's been great. It's been going on for a long time now.
Now, Mayor Schmitt said that he's going to be going over there. When's that going to be, and are you going to go with him?
Yeah, next year is the 25th anniversary of our Sister Cities program, and we'll be going over there to celebrate because they came over here when we established it and came over, of course, this year. So I'll be going over, I'm sure. My wife and I will, and hopefully a lot of our German Club Deutsche Verein members will be going over, too. We're hoping to get a big group to go.
Now, judged upon just your interaction with our visitors over the last week, you think everyone, Mayor Hahn and everyone, had a pretty good time here in Jasper? Some good Southern Indiana hospitality?
Yeah, we made sure we had a real American feast for them tonight. We had pulled pork and baked beans and corn on the cob, and I think they enjoyed it. I know in Germany they don't eat sweet corn because they don't really have sweet corn. So they said when we offered it to them the first time they were here a number of years ago, they turned up their nose and they said, we feed that to the chickens and then we eat the chickens. But they like the sweet corn, yeah. It's been a great time, it really has.
And they also got some people got some nice little mementos and souvenirs of their time here in Jasper.
Yes, I think everybody got a mug from the Strassenfest, and then there was, as you probably saw, the picture of the Clydesdales going over the bridge, which is a beautiful photo, it really is. And I think gifts were exchanged both ways when they came to the host families and then back to them tonight. And I'm sure we'll have the same thing going on when we go over there in 2010. It'll be in June of 2010 during their. It's a festival that where they commemorate the stone. The Pfaffenweiler is known for its wine and for its stone carving. And so this is their stone festival. So it should be a lot of fun.
Well, I can tell you're already looking forward to that, even though we haven't even said goodbye here today. But thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
While some people are leaving Jasper to head back to Germany, others are just arriving. I spoke with translator Matt Hilger and an exchange student who has been enjoying her time in Jasper.
Yes, we got Sina Ehrhardt staying with us here for the next, till mid-September. She is the daughter of a classmate of mine. We went to school together, and so she's a great guest to have in my house, and we're looking forward for the next few weeks. She's going to the Staufen School in Germany, which is the exchange school of our high school, German program. So we're looking forward to have her here. She already has been here, 4 weeks? 5 weeks?
5.
Yeah, 5.
Are you looking forward to your time here? How's things going so far?
It's good. I like it. Yeah.
Has Matt been treating you well and everything?
No, it's good.
Now, what kind of attracted you to want to come over here and spend some time here? What was the number one reason?
Because I've been here before and I liked it, and so my sister stayed here for a whole year, and yeah, just to learn English, and get to know the people and stuff.
Is it a little bit of a culture shock or a big change from Germany, or is it somewhat similar?
No, it's, yeah, some things are different, but it's not, yeah, I don't know, it's okay, so.
Right now, have a lot of people been friendly to you? Is it easy to make friends here, good people?
Yeah, all of them.
Is there anything left you're hoping to accomplish or see or do while you're still here? Have you been to Holiday World?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've been there, yeah, in September last year.
And what time again, when are you leaving?
25th of September.
Jana is another exchange student from Germany who just arrived a few days ago and is looking forward to the experience. All right, Jana, it's nice to meet you. I understand you just got in town here the other night and you're going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
How long are you going to be here for?
10 months.
Now, what attracted you to want to come over here? Why did you decide to make the trip?
I want to improve my English and learn more about Jasper and living here in America.
Now, have you heard positive experiences from maybe some friends or from other people that kind of contributed?
Yes, I heard, yeah.
Now, a good way to improve your English is to do a lot of TV interviews. So that's why you're doing this right now, right?
Yeah.
Now, who are you going to be staying with while you're here?
I stay by Family Brown and
Dr. Terry and Betty Brown. Dr. Terry and Betty Brown.
Is there anything particular you're looking forward to or trying to do or accomplish while you're here?
To go to the, I don't know, dem Ding, wo alle hinwollen, ich weiß nicht, was heißt.
Park?
Yeah.
Holiday World, eh?
Ah, yeah.
You want to look forward to Holiday World?
Holiday World. That seems to be a familiar topic. You want to go on some of the roller coasters and stuff?
Yes.
Now, what do you think of the American food so far? Is it good? Is it better than German food?
Yeah, I like it more.
What's your favorite restaurant here in town?
I wasn't here in the restaurant because I arrived yesterday, but I like McDonald's.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful time here and enjoy your stay.
Thanks.
Earlier this week, we talked with Jasper High School German teacher Aaron White, who talked about the exchange program these girls are taking part in.
The exchange program between Jasper High School and Pfaffenweiler and Gymnasium is very important in that it shows cultural differences, educational processes, and also builds lifelong relationships between the two groups. As a newer teacher here at Jasper High School, I can see the community support really is brought forth by the older community members and also incorporating the younger community members into this exchange program.
Also earlier this week, there was a partnership meeting where Jasper Mayor Bill Schmitt discussed some of the differences and similarities between Pfaffenweiler and Jasper.
We just held a partnership meeting with our guests from Pfaffenweiler. Sitting with me was the Burgermeister, or the Mayor, Dieter Hahn. We talked about the difference in our communities and also our similarities. We shared some of the more pressing projects that we have in our community. Here we talked about our storm sewer deficiency. We talked about the power plant and the future of it, and we talked about the future of 231 to bring traffic around our city. Some of their issues were with traffic, but they want to preserve the quiet community that they have, and we're looking at a major highway to go outside of their valley. They also talked about their need to expand their fire department and build a new fire department in Pfaffenweiler. So we a lot of times share the same problems, but maybe at different times. The difference in our makeup of our government, while we are 14,000 and have 7 council members, they are a community of 2,500 people, and they have 12 council members. But what they don't have is all of the department heads running the individual departments. So a lot of the times the council members fills in as maybe a representative of different areas in their community. So I think it was a very good meeting. It was a lighthearted meeting at times, and sometimes serious. So